The first time the community was presented to us, it was painted as a perfect place to live, almost as a utopia. What we didn't know is that we were being introduced to a dystopia. And as we kept diving more deeply into the life of our characters, we realized how controlled the people were. And despite having a decent life and the whole idea of each individual having a role in society, being assigned a certain job because of your abilities seems nice on paper. It's not like you have any choice in the community. If you ask me, it sounds like all the tests they have been preparing us for years to get to know which career you're gonna study and stuff. For me, those tests are all a bunch of nonsense. Well, who knows? Maybe I just got mad with the results. I simply don't like the way they make them. The idea of education, college, and all that stuff is mostly just something to suck money out of you. I mean, I think you know, but very few institutions and people really care about about what you know, and about how what you know is going to help society as a whole. Now, if you think I'm getting off track, I just started. No, I wouldn't like to live in a place like the community. Firstly, when someone gets released, they just straight up get killed. They are controlled all the time. They don't even get to experience life as a whole with all of the restrictions. The one that impacted me the most was the no affection rule. The part of taking a pill to control emotions is something to me that sounds so unnatural that it is not even human. The way they behaved is almost as if they were robots more than humans. We knew that they live in the future the first time we were introduced to the giver, and how our protagonist became the receiver to be then the next giver and stuff. And I'll tell you something. I wouldn't like my future relatives living like this, and like the whole idea of the receiver and the giver being the only ones that really know stuff about the past seems like a way of controlling masses more than to know what's right and wrong for the future. Plus, the little details that make one enjoy life are mostly gone. The idea of not being able to music, for example, is just wrong. I'm not even a musician or anything, but music has always been an important part of my life, and I really take pleasure in enjoying little things in my life. And I couldn't imagine how it would be without all that stuff. I mean, in the community, there are no animals, no colors, no right or wrong, no love. What's even the point of living if there's nothing like that? I made some research about the position of the community in the political compass, the famous authoritarian, libertarian, left right stuff, and mainly using the information the book gives us. I was interested in how it was straight up authoritarian left and focusing on totalitarianism and collectivism, but in a really bad way. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know not a lot of good can come out of this way of controlling society, like the authoritarian left part. What made people create the idea of sameness to me, what I imagined, was the collapse of a previous society, and that way they thought maybe if people weren't fully human, taking away free will, emotions, and distractions, that way the human race would prosper and survive. I think our protagonist died mainly because, in what I've seen of media, snow in the end almost always represents death. Uh, and I need to investigate more and read the finale again to fully understand it. Or who knows, maybe read the sequel. Either way, it was a good ending, kind of cliffhanger, but makes you reflect what you just read. And I like when texts do that, it makes an impact.